Hello, friend. You're welcome to this discussion on leadership and the roadmap to personal discovery. Okay, what I intend to do here is to see how to step up your quest to enhance your leadership skill and then show you the roadmap on how to discover yourself, which will enhance your leadership skills. Now, in terms of content, I will be looking at basically the introduction, then food for thoughts, which you may have to think about, and then we'll look at the needs for personal discovery, and then we look at personal discovery, what it entails, what is it all about. We will quickly summarize with phases of personal discovery, and then you take the final remarks. Okay, now leadership is obviously very, very important. It's an important aspect of our lives as individuals, as organizations, as society. Leadership is key. It affects every aspect of our life, ranging from family to association. Even when you are just relating with someone, there is always needs for someone to take leadership. And that's why for young people, you see kind of people describe what we call peer pressure. Somebody takes the leadership in that group. Okay? Organizations need leadership. There is need for political leadership. Economic leadership is also there when someone is economically empowered to exercise leadership role. And then there could be spiritual leadership. So these are different areas where leadership is very, very important. And that is why failure in leadership could amount to a huge cost to everyone. In many nations of the world, the hardship a lot of persons are suffering, especially citizens that are not privileged, are actually as a result of failure in leadership. Many organizations are also suffering the same woes. And that is why we can't shy away. We cannot continue to shy away from leadership responsibilities. If we do, then we will not blame God for our woes. Each of us need to build a skill so that you can begin to put things, you can have, when you have opportunity, you can put things in place and correct what you think that are not going well. Okay? So some people actually exhibit leadership qualities, skills, and capabilities easily. But for some others, they actually struggle with leadership responsibilities. So whenever you call them to do such thing, you see them shy away from that situation. So permit me to ask you this question. Call it food for thought. Are leaders actually born or are they made? Of course, this has been a huge discussion among scholars all over the world. It's been a big debate. People keep doing research on it. And that is why I'm posing the question to you. What is your take here? Think about it. Are they born? Are they made? What do you think? All right. Whatever you think about it, you may want to drop it in the comment box here. I will appreciate to get your response. And I'll tell you why. Now, but let me show you what I think about it here. My thinking is that leaders are actually both born and they are made. Research has actually shown or suggested that leadership is a combination of innate traits, inborn qualities, and developed skills. Some people may have this natural predisposition for leadership. In any case, effective leadership is largely a learned ability that can be developed by all, including you. And that's why I'm happy you are watching this video. You can develop leadership quality. You can develop skills for effective leadership. And this is developed through experience, through education, through training. And that is why this presentation is actually part of the quality education, quality training. So my take in this discussion is that leadership ability is largely influenced by nature. Some people are born leaders. And it's also largely influenced by nurture. Some people are made leaders. And so if you are a born leader, if you decide to develop this skill further, you will be a star. and you may be the next solution the people around you are looking for. If you think you are not born a leader and you decide to develop the skill, you may become the solution our society is looking for. Our society is in their need of good leadership, effective leadership. And you can become that solution everybody is waiting for. If it's possible for you to become that, why not put effort towards developing your skill for leadership? Now, let's look at it more closely. It is some research have actually suggested in terms of genetic factors. Some research have actually suggested that a portion of leadership traits can be influenced by genetics. For instance, there are some studies that have been carried out on twins, and some of those researches have found genetic link to leadership role, and certain personality traits associated with leadership among twins. Well, you may want to say that because they are born together, they try to do things together and all of that, and so they begin early enough to exercise leadership. And so somebody may think that they are born that way. But that is my own critique to that discussion. Okay, but research have actually shown that these things are quite possible. Now, there's, in terms of nature characteristics, some people are born with certain attitudes like charism. You see somebody that is very charismatic, or natural ability to inspire others. They do it so easily. And this kind of qualities can actually give such individuals advantage in terms of leadership. People who are very charismatic, or people who are able to easily influence others. This gives them advantage in terms of leadership. Coming to nurture, the fact that people can actually be made leaders. Someone like you, for instance, can become the best leader your generation will ever know. No, you think it's not possible. I once used to think I was never born a leader. And that was why I kept shying away from responsibilities, shying away from opportunities. And it actually affected my growth right from early in age. All right. But until I began to learn that this is possible, with a lot of things around me, my own leadership skill improved significantly. And if mine has improved, yours can also improve. In terms of nature, leadership can be influenced by skills and experience. A majority of leadership ability is considered to be developed through learning and experience. This includes communication, for instance. Even decision making is something people learn by experience or by experience. Problem solving skills, emotional intelligence. These are things that people can learn by experience. You can also learn, develop your leadership skill through training. The right training, coaching, mentorship, and exposure to opportunities can actually significantly influence your boldness, self-confidence. Of course, self-confidence enhances leadership, leadership qualities, leadership capabilities. Someone who doesn't have that self-confidence to deliver, who doesn't believe that he can deliver, can hardly be a good leader. Okay? Then adversity. It looks like something that is odd here. Adversity has its own role in playing in developing leadership skills. Research has actually also shown that experiencing and overcoming challenges can be a crucial part of developing an effective leadership ability. So in case you are passing through a tough time, try to learn all you need to learn from that particular experience. It could be developing you to become the best you are born to be. Okay? There is this discussion I made earlier on how to handle challenges. 2 things you can do. The link to that video is attached to the description of this video, and is also shared on the comment box. So there are things you can learn from tough experience, because this tough experience has a way of testing and shaping your character. And I bet your character is key in leadership. Maturity is not a function of age, it's largely a function of character. And so, character in most cases get developed when people pass through certain experience that looks unpleasant. Now, another one is continuous development. Like I said earlier, leadership is not a fixed state. That you are just a leader, you are just a leader. You are born a leader, you are a leader. This can be developed on a continuous basis. It's a continuous process of learning and developing over time. Okay? And that is why when we want to look at the need for personal discovery, you discover that this issue of personal discovery could help you develop the leadership ability, of course, which develops over time. And that personal discovery is a major roadmap in developing your leadership ability. When you're able to discover yourself, it will go along with helping you develop leadership ability. Some people are not doing well in leadership because they don't really know themselves. That's interesting. Is it true that some people are not doing well because they don't really know themselves? Well, I leave it for you to go and think about it. But you see, personal discovery, what does it involve? It is the foundation for effective leadership. For me, that's my position. Personal discovery is the foundation for effective leadership. Once you don't have that foundation and you step into leadership position, you will be struggling with a lot of things. When, for instance, people critique you, you may get offended. You may think it's an attack on your personality because you have not known yourself. But if you know yourself and you have that confidence in yourself and your ability to deliver, when people critique you, you see it as a feedback that should be appreciated and learn from it. Okay? So it involves this kind of meditating in a way to understand oneself in the area of strength, in the area of weaknesses, in the area of values and purpose. So a good leader is somebody who knows his strengths. If you know your strengths and you are working with a team, it will help you distribute responsibilities in a way that you are able to manage things, and then you are able to handle what is committed into your hands in a way that produces positive impact. If you know your weaknesses, you know the responsibilities to hand over to those who are your team members who are strong in that area. If you know your values, then you know that the kind of leadership position or role you can accept. And then you know the boundaries you put from beginning. When you are in a leadership position, you'll be able to set your boundaries. That I don't do this, I don't do that. Others may query you why, but these are things you value so much. So it becomes your strength. You see, the strength of character is key in leadership. And of course, if you're a leader who has a purpose, some people get into leadership and you see that they don't have any purpose driving them. Why are you there? What do you want to achieve? You are just allowing time to flow. And then the people that are supposed to benefit from that leadership are suffering because you are not doing what you ought to do. So let me quickly summarize this discussion by looking at 3 key phases of personal discovery. The first one is reflection and awareness. The second one is exploration and action. The third one is integration and intentional living. So let's go through the first one. The first one, reflection and awareness. Under that, I want to quickly draw your attention on the need to clarify your values. I cannot overemphasize it, friend. Identify what truly matters to you. If you identify what truly matters to you, it will help you to understand the core motivators, and you're able to set meaningful goals. So you need to define your values. What are those things you value? If you're in a relationship and you don't have values, then you're in trouble. You can fall for anything. Okay? Well, I'm not discussing relationship here, but Every relationship has a leader. Believe it or not, sometimes it's not announced. Okay? In terms of reflection and awareness too, there is something we call there's something we call practice self-compassion. Learn to appreciate your imperfections. No. You need to understand that there is no perfect human being, including those you admire, you look up to. You think that they are experts. You think that they are just there, heroes. In terms of leadership, they are not perfect. So if you appreciate your imperfection, we are only developing towards perfection. Especially those who have been saved by grace. All right? So if you appreciate your imperfection, you understand that when you have opportunity to lead and you make mistake, you'll be willing to forgive yourself when you have had a bad day. And you won't allow that experience to keep you down or keep you away from trying again. So practice self-compassion by learning to appreciate your imperfection and being willing to forgive yourself when you have a bad day. Okay? Now the next one, phase 2, is exploration and action. You need to learn to explore new things, of course, as much as righteousness and holiness will permit. Do not get into things that are illegal because you want to explore new things. Many have tried it and they've gotten arrested, they've gotten into trouble. So try new things that are legitimate. Intentionally step into unfamiliar territories. That will help to strengthen your area of strength and help you identify your weaknesses. And if you keep your eye there and understanding you are imperfect, it will help you to learn in that experience. Number 2, expand your comfort zone. Challenge yourself and embrace opportunities for growth. Don't always shy away when opportunities for growth comes. Number 3, use challenges as learning opportunities. Yes. Use them as learning opportunities. View your failures and challenges not as setbacks, not as a failure. As the fact that you failed in an experience or in an exam does not make you a failure, doesn't define you. You are not a failure. It's only an opportunity to learn. So don't see failures or challenges as setback. Rather see them as chances for further growth. Learn new things. Learn what is not working. Then you explore what is working. Or you may need to think out of the box if what you know is not working. By the way, when people say think out of the box, it's difficult for some people to understand. I did a video on how to think outside the box and what to do when you're outside the box and how to return to avoid creating trouble for yourself and those around you. The link to that video is also shared in the description of this video and on the comment box. So you may want to look at it. The fifth one here for me is seeking feedback. Be willing to seek feedback from trusted individuals. Call them your mentors, your coach. If you ask for feedback from trusted individuals, it will help you to gain an external perspective on your impact or your blind spots. That blind spot you are not quick to identify. Your attention can be drawn to it. And that is why I will encourage you, dear friend, to always consider feedback as a gift. Whether it's a positive feedback or a negative feedback, consider feedback as a gift. People can actually decide not to give you any feedback. What will you do? So when they give you feedback, why not appreciate it? Sometimes I could have an experience with someone. Maybe I walk into a shop to buy something and my experience happened not to be a good one. I could decide to walk away with that experience and probably discourage other friends from patronizing that shop. But on a second thought, if I decide to step in there and say, hello, this is my experience here and I don't think it's a good one. I think you need to improve on this. And you become defensive or you feel offended, then you have lost that opportunity. And next thing, you may not know other opportunities to learn. And then you won't know other opportunities you are losing because you didn't treat that feedback very well. But if you say, oh my God, that's interesting, thank you, that was an oversight, we're sorry about that, we'll take care of it next time. Oh, the person will feel appreciated. Everybody wants to be appreciated. Am I right? Probably I am not. But I think everybody wants to be appreciated. So if somebody gives you feedback, whether it be good, positive or negative, appreciate the person. Don't be angry. Don't be mad. Okay? The third phase, which is where we're going to be wrapping up the discussion before the closing remark, is integration and intentional living. Embrace vulnerability. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. I mean, this could lead to deeper self-understanding and connection. Don't try to overprotect yourself from making mistakes. Understand the fact that, you are a weak person, just like many others, in as much as we try to show that we are strong here and there. But if you make mistake, if you have a bad day, understand that, look, you're a human being. Okay, then also surround yourself with supportive people. There are people who know how to discourage someone. Your simple error, they can overflog it again and again until you lose confidence to try anymore. So if you surround yourself with supportive persons, even when they give you negative feedback, they will do it in a way that will not weaken your strength to push forward. Okay? If you cultivate relationship with people who encourage your growth or encourage you to be your best, then that your best will most likely come out. And that is why I encourage friends, if you're in a relationship and that relationship is just tormenting you, making you become a shadow of yourself, who are you waiting for? Do you need any prophet to step out from that relationship? You want to get yourself into something that you will not appreciate tomorrow. Alright, so if you're in a relationship and that relationship is making you become a shadow of yourself, you are no longer bold, you have lost your confidence, you cannot say your mind anymore. Friend, you have become a slave. Walk away from that relationship. But if you're already married, I would advise you to walk away from that marriage. It's a decision you have made. You can find a way around it to rebuild it. Oh, you are encouraging, you're asking me that I'm encouraging those who are in marriage relationship. Yes, because I don't really encourage divorce. People who are married can always find a way of sorting out their challenge. Okay? But if you're not yet married, you are still in probably discussing this contract called relationship or marriage. At that moment, if you discover that this thing is not working, please walk away so that you be a better person. Okay? Well, I've treated issues on relationship, which link I also shared in the description of this video. But that's it. So while you surround yourself with supportive persons, seek help on your own when need be. Don't wait for them to always get back to you because they want to train you. Okay? Consider seeking the guidance of mentors, of senior friends, or other professionals in helping you in your journey. You think you are weak here, you are not so sure of the decision you are about to make, you may want somebody to help you weigh it. Okay? And then finally on this discussion here, I want to encourage you to accept where you are at the moment. Recognizing and accepting where you are will help you walk yourself through the pathway. Your beginning may look so little. Somebody may want to look down on you, despise you. Don't give up. Appreciate where you are. Anybody who you see who is an expert today was once a learner. Did you get that? Sometimes you see people who are riding bicycles and they are covering miles. Believe me, some time ago, somebody was holding the handle of that bike for that boy or that girl, teaching the person on how to ride. Today, the person can ride miles. So if you are just a beginner, don't be afraid. It shows that you have the capacity to get to somewhere very glorious. And I encourage you to strive for that. On a final note, I want to say that through self-discovery, leaders develop emotional intelligence. Leaders develop resilience. And then they develop this ability to inspire others. You see, these three things are very, very important in leadership. Emotional intelligence, understanding your emotion in a way that you don't use it to manipulate people, and understanding your other people's emotion in a way that they don't use it to manipulate you. And then resilience, not giving up so easily, not staying where you have fallen. You get up. If you fall, you get up and continue. And then that your ability to inspire others. This makes leadership very sweet. It makes leadership attractive, motivational. And then it will also guide your team. If you also decide to guide your team with greater integrity, which is not so common among many leaders, then you become a star. If you're a leader who has this emotional intelligence, who has this resilience, you're always able to push through, and then you're able to inspire people, and you're able to guide your team through greater integrity, then you become a leader to follow. Can I say finally, dear friend, that you can be your best in leadership if you operate with the right mindset. And the right mindset for me is that mindset that is willing to unlearn, willing to learn, and willing to relearn. You are willing to unlearn what you see that is not working. Yeah, that is how your people do it. That is how you have always done it. But this is not working. Unlearn it. And then learn what you need to learn. Learn what is working. And when you have learned it, seek for other things to learn. And in that way, your growth becomes continuous. On that note, I want to say a very big thank you for your time in this discussion. Stay richly blessed. Thank you for visiting this channel. I hope you've subscribed. If you have not, please do. And feel free to share this video with your friends whom you think will benefit from this discussion. Finally, can I say to you, you are born to be a leader. Oh, you said I am not saying the truth. Okay. Can I say another one? You can be made the best leader you have ever known. And that is where I hope to see you. God bless you. Cheers.